4:20. I wonder if I'm high because I'm doing this. Hi there. Welcome, everybody, to Cast Iron Wednesday. And this is a tradition that a lot of cooking channels, at least the smaller ones, like to do every Wednesday. We film a video about cast iron, whether it's cooking in cast iron, cleaning cast iron, identifying cast iron, collecting cast iron. You get the idea. Usually it seems to be cooking in cast iron, though, and that's one of the things that we enjoy doing here. Then that's basically why we call it Cast Iron Wednesday. So hello again to everybody. Thank you once again for deciding to show up on this channel. I mean, it really is a lot of fun to do these live videos, and what's especially fun is to know that folks are watching and taking part and criticizing. I'm very much open to criticism. So, yeah, and today is, as they call it, 420, the 20th of April, and a couple of days after Easter as well. So between the two, it looks like we're going to be making some, well, let's just say we'll be making some edibles tonight. I should say in advance, even though there are going to be some 420 jokes and edibles and all the rest of that, it is not legal in a lot of places to actually deal with to actually use the dreaded marijuana, cannabis weed, loco weed, that evil stuff that's turning our children into who knows what, that kind of thing. So unfortunately, that is not going to be an ingredient used tonight. I mean, I'm sure if some people were to use their imagination and substitute an ingredient or two, that's their own choice. On the other hand, what we are doing is getting rid of a whole bunch. I can turn this off. Of leftover Easter candy. And yeah, there's a thing as well, I guess I could say. It's like, what is leftover candy? Well, when there are two of you and two cats living in an apartment with no kids, and both of us are old enough that we have to really consider our sugar intake, yeah, there is actually leftover candy. Um, but nonetheless, let's get on to our greetings here, and thank you very much, as I said, to everybody who's shown up here. Hello, Terry Sinchep. Nice to see you again. And Dr. M. Howdy and Stephane, not Stephanie, S. Leck, I guess. Kimberly Miller, Pat Z. Hello, everybody, and hello, Papa Dan. Yes, hi. And I hope, and once again, we hope your eyesight is doing better. So, and likewise, Cast Iron Fanatic and Granny Graham and Val's Black Cats Rules and Papa Dan is here. Yeah, and Jamie says hi, and Neoths. Yeah, we've got a lot of regulars, and I'm very glad to see you folks. And of course, I'm also glad to see folks who show up here for the first time. Okay, and I guess
for hours on this recipe, opening tons and tons of candy. It took me forever.
well, there is that. Yes, I mean basically we tried to do as much of our prep work in advance as possible so that we're not going to spend like the next 20 minutes or so individually unwrapping Hershey's Kisses. Yeah, because we already took care of that, fortunately. And hello, Kenneth Kamiensky, and everybody else. Thank you once again for showing up. But of course, this is a cast iron cooking channel, so we had better start showing some cast iron right now because people are kind enough to show up, and we better well show you something to make it worth your while. So that means it's time to bring out an old friend, one that I've used a number of times here on this channel, and you'll recognize him as soon as you see him. So let's move over to the stove and take a look at our good old friend. And that would be Stumpy. Yes, here he is once again. Let me move this. This is melted butter that is cooling off right now. I'm just moving this out of the way carefully. There we go. And yeah, Stumpy is one of my favorite pans to use. I'm always glad to have an excuse to bring this old warrior out here because he is a Birmingham Stove and Range number 14 There we are, number 14 size cast iron skillet. So it's 15 inches across. And we are going to be cooking one whopper of a pizza sized cookie in this tonight. This again, what they call these things are they call it a garbage cookie. The idea is that we're taking a whole bunch of leftover candy and stuff and mixing it up in a cookie. So, so hence the name garbage. However, it definitely is not going to taste like garbage. I've done this before, and I love making these giant cookies. And here's the thing: is that this is so easy to make. Anybody can do it. And I mean anybody. Whether or not you know how to cook or say you know how to cook, anybody can cook. Or whether you've been cooking for a long time, these skillet cookies are so easy. I mean, it's almost as though there's really not much need to go and get store-bought cookie dough. I've got the ingredients for it all prepared right now, and it's really just a matter of mixing them all together. So, Kenneth Kaniemski, is Stumpy the biggest skillet you have? As a matter of fact, right now he is. I do know that there are vintage skillets out there that are even bigger than a number 14. Oh, in fact, Lodge makes a huge 17-inch cast iron skillet, but I do not have one of those, at least not at this time. So, and yeah, there are a couple of famous ones from the 19th century, the infamous number 16 skillet out there, and a couple of people have even seen photos of the number 20 skillet. The Asian makers too, they do actually make big 20-inch cast iron skillets too. But at the moment, Stumpy here is my largest one. So, um, yeah, says Cast Iron Fanatic says easy is good. Dr. M, I've got Stumpy's cousin over here. His name is Tony Montana. Oh boy, I can only imagine. So it's like whenever you bring him out, I'm guessing you're saying, say hello to my little friend. So, okay. And here we go again. As I mentioned already, I've done my best to try to get as much of this prep work done as possible. In that we've got our dry ingredients here, which is really no more than flour with a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of kosher salt, and one ingredient that I like using in these cookies, and that would be cream of tartar. Cream of tartar, is not used as often as it should be. At least that's what my feeling is, because it helps to, how can you call it, bind it and basically keep this thing from falling when it rises, so that you've got a much more sturdy cookie or cake if you use it in a cake or the like. I'm not saying dry or hard. I'm saying sturdy. And it holds together a lot better and gives a lot more photogenic look to it. Meanwhile, as I mentioned already, we've got, let me see, in here we've got some Hershey's Kisses, a couple of several Reese's peanut butter eggs. We also threw in a bunch of chocolate chips just because we had them. And oh yeah, and here's the other thing we're going to be throwing into this mix, and that is some leftover, and that would be a whole bag of these peanut butter M&Ms. Boy, I didn't even realize I was getting peanut butter M&Ms. I thought I was just getting plain M&Ms to use in the cookie, and they are great. But I've got a weakness for these peanut butter M&Ms. I've got to say that these things kick butt over Reese's Pieces. It's like I could probably down this whole bag without even trying, but not right now. It's got a grander purpose. Namely, we're going to be putting that in the cookie. So at this point, all I really have to do is mix together the wet ingredients and then mix those into the dry ingredients, and then we will have cookie dough. And once again, it really is as simple as that. Let me.
One of the best cookie dough recipes I've ever had was actually in the back of a bag of Toll House chocolate chips.
Yeah, Jamie says one of the best cookie recipes recipes, not just cookie recipes, she ever had was on the back of a bag of Toll House chips. All right, I'm very quickly, okay, good. We've got this part here. All right, so to this, the wet ingredients are going to be, okay, let's move this over. 2 sticks of butter, softened, or in this case, it's actually going to be melted. There we go. That's nice and easy. I hope this isn't too hot, in fact. I may actually have to find a way to cool this thing off before the eggs go in. Nonetheless, to this, we are going to add some brown sugar and some white sugar. Now, one thing I've learned as well when making these cookies is that the ratio to brown sugar and white sugar is actually pretty important, because if you have more brown sugar than white sugar, you've got more of a chewy cookie. And if you have more white sugar than brown sugar, you end up with more of a cakey cookie. So, of course, most of us seem to prefer a chewy cookie, including myself. So,
And there's nothing wrong with leaving out the baking soda, I promise.
yes. And then from there, okay, now from here, yeah, I think I better mix this in and cool this off a little bit before putting in the eggs. So, yeah, because unfortunately, I just found out this is a little warm and I do not want to pre-cook the eggs. But anyway, and I'm not even using a whisk on this, partly because this is right now very thick concoction here. As I said, this is really no more than sugar and butter. I guess technically we're creaming it together, although you can see it has a very different consistency. Let me move this down a little bit, if you don't mind. Kind of like to do more of a close-up, I guess you could call it. There we go, and I hope this helps. Once we do this, as I said, this is no more than sugar and butter, and to this we're going to mix in 2 eggs and some vanilla extract, and that's really all the ingredients we need to make a cookie dough. That's how easy it is. So let's do 1. There we go. And the other. And I'd better mix these eggs in pretty quickly to be sure that the eggs do not become scrambled eggs. That would kind of ruin the whole thing. Well, fortunately, no, this butter is not that hot. So it's only a matter of getting this all, well, mixed together. Pardon me. I very much enjoy this recipe, yet I do find that it's actually, for some reason, my recipe, and I don't know if I should tweak it or not because I like the results, but my recipe seems to be a little bit gives a little bit more solid dough than some of those other homemade cast iron cookie recipes. In those ones, you can usually mix it with a mixer, but I find in my case it seems to be a little too solid for that. But what we do end up with is a very nice cookie dough. And hey, these so far, this is looking pretty good right now. So that means we are about ready for the next step. Let me move these eggs to the side. And it's really no more than mixing the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients. In fact, that's why I brought out a spatula, so that I don't miss any bit. There we go. A silicone spatula. And there's this little bit. And now in it goes. And as I said already, it's really as easy as that. This is one reason why I find those skillet cookies that they sell in the stores, especially at Christmas, to be generally to be atrocious. I mean, if you've only made those store-bought cookies with that mix that comes with the skillet, it's not bad. I won't say that. I will say that. But once you've made it at home, you'll realize just how yeah, the difference is quite remarkable.
I think the giant store cookies I see that they can taste the baking soda a lot.
Yeah, Jamie mentions she can taste the baking soda in these cookies. I'm repeating it largely because
in the store version.
oh, in the store version, yes. But of course, the other thing is that this is going to be a dough, not like a cake batter. So this is going to be a lot more solid than a cake batter. That's another reason why I don't use a mixer to do this, because this is going to get to the point where I'm just going to give up mixing it with the spatula and get in with my hands. Because, hey, that's where a lot of the fun is. Besides, if you're making this with kids, they would love, they will not hesitate to just dive right in and get their hands all squishy.
You also want to do that kind of fast, kind of quicker though, because it melts the butter.
Yes, exactly. I am doing this as quickly as I can.
So say that part.
Yes. You also want to do it fast because it melts the butter.
So as quick as possible.
Or as quick as possible, yes. Yeah. All right, we're all ready. I think.
Butter melts, but body temperature changes the consistency of your cookie.
Yeah, body temperature changes the consistency of your cookie. And I think I'm already at the point where I can just give this up and start kneading with my hands. But anyway, that's really how easy it is, as I said, to make cookie dough. Only about a couple of weeks ago, I saw at good old Wally World, they were selling edible cookie dough with no eggs. Basically, with a big flag on the front that says, safe to eat. Because I know the whole thing about raw eggs, that's why no store is ever going to encourage you to eat a mixture with raw eggs. Even though most of us do it all the time, especially with cookie dough.
Right, remember.
Okay.
Right, ever since the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about raw eggs anymore.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Most eggs aren't pasteurized.
Which
Unless
also,
you're getting them from like a family farm and stuff like that. But as long as it's pasteurized, it kills the germs.
right. And I forgot one other thing, and that is to grease the pan with Crisco. So let's get that going. That way we'll be able to add the dough to the pan immediately after we finish mixing it. Okay, did I forget vanilla extract in this cookie? I think I did. Gosh, I'm just gonna have to mix that in too. It's always something for me. Anyway, don't need a lot. All we're doing really is just that. We are greasing this pan here. However, don't forget to include the sides because it will rise. There we go. And yeah, I did forget to add the vanilla extract. So let's get this in. And that's a little bit here. There we go. That should be more than enough. That's good, and that'll actually help the consistency of this dough. Boy, will this help. Now it's definitely, oh, shut up. Definitely not too dry. Oh, let me move this aside, in fact. Keep your workspace clean, as they say. All right. Anyway, now that we've done all that, I know you want a better view of this bowl. I know I would. There we go. Now for the fun part, and that would be the candy. Not just candy, but more candy. And oh good, it did tear. There we go. There we go. Now we've got some Easter color to it. Nom nom nom. I'll just mix all this together. And this is what's called a garbage cookie. Oh, those M&Ms are good. I'll watch myself not to spill them. There we go. Boy, that sure was difficult, wasn't it? That's what I mean, how easy it is to make cookie dough from scratch. Hi, Mobley. Oh yeah, Mowgli is climbing the counter again. She's gotten a lot more, I guess you could say, come out of her shell lately. Yes, a lot more outgoing. All right, but anyway, there we go. There is our garbage cookie dough. And so now all we have to do is get this into our pan. Here comes old Stumpy. And spread it out. Boy, this sure is difficult, isn't it? I know I keep saying that, but that's because I mean it. And there is enough. Don't want to. Okay. And there actually is enough of this dough here that it will easily cover the entire pan. I've done this quite a few times, and I'm confident of that. Just press it out. Yeah, this is not like pizza dough. It's not going to spring back on you, which also makes it much easier to do this. A little bit here, a little bit there. Probably want to put that on top. Okay. Don't want too much chocolate on the edges as it's likely to melt and possibly stick. So I am doing my best to try to spread this out. There we go. Like I said, that's told you there would be no difficulty with this filling the entire pan. Okay. And with that, Mowgli. Now she's actually scratching or picking at my leg. Okay. But there we go. Yeah. This is probably enough to give like a whole classroom full of kindergartners a sugar rush. So, but hey, it's Easter candy. It's a special treat. And yeah, once this is done, we are going to be treating our friends to this as well. There is no way in heck that we're going to be able to eat this thing ourselves. Once it comes out of the oven, you will see it for yourself. You think you could? If you saw this, you might change your mind. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed your cast and Honey Badger says your cast iron collection has created some very nice holiday traditions in your home. Cornbread Festival. The National Cornbread Festival is this weekend. In fact, this coming weekend. Those of you who are lucky enough to be in the area, definitely you don't want to miss it. Among other things, Lodge is going to be giving factory tours. I realized that I did not have the ability to drive 1,200 miles and back to the Cornbread Festival this year. Number one, of course, is the price of gas. Number two is because my schedule is still questionable, unfortunately. This whole thing with the apartment, which we're hoping to bring to a resolution. So, but nonetheless, here is our garbage cookie. And so that means now all we do is get this in the oven. Oh, did I forget? I can't believe I forgot to preheat the oven. I can't believe that.
Just put it aside right now.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put it aside, like you said. All right, yeah, that's got okay. No, another few minutes and then I'll do that.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually forgot to preheat. I got all my prep work done and I forgot to preheat it. Okay, that's all right because we're not done yet. Let me wash my hands here. Oh well, I know I'm hardly the only person to do that. So
Every single time.
yes, exactly.
If I
So
see I'm like surprised, like, oh my god, I actually did it this time.
yes. All right, but meanwhile, nonetheless, apologies for the delay, but we'll let you look at this pan. while I scroll back to the comments because I've been busy putting this pizza. I've been busy putting this cookie together. So, and let's see what we have here. And Peg Tooth. Hello, Peg Tooth. Hi, Papa, Jamie, and all you fine and nifty dancers. Papa Dan, Dr. M. My car has been raining. Car has been raining? Oh, I blew a hole in the side of my radiator an hour from home. Took all day to get home. Ouch, my condolences on that. Terry Sinchep, I like a chewy cookie and Dana likes a crunchy cookie. So we compromise and I make a crunchy cookie. Yeah, that's the typical compromise, all right.
Actually, you know what you do for that? You make a giant cookie, and then you get chewy and crunchy because the center towards the cookie is chewy and the outer part is crunchy.
That's true.
Yep.
Or you could even make two cookies.
Yeah, or you just make, like I said, make a cookie bar instead of making a cookie. Because actually, you know what? Cookie recipes, also, people know, when you make a cookie recipe, you can always transfer it instead of making regular cookies out of it. You can make it in a bar. You don't have to cook it as you don't have to cook it as cookies.
Right. Grumpy old gringo. Hello again to you too. The ultimate skillet cookie. Does it get much better than that? I'll one of these days I'll see if it can get better than this. But this is actually pretty darn good.
Yeah. You know what? You're going to see it get better. My brownies are coming up.
Oh yeah, that's true. We've got part 2 coming up anyway. Cynthia Wesley, I could see my grandboy bouncing off the walls after one bite. Oh, there's no question about that. Yes, I wasn't kidding when I said this thing could give a classroom full of kindergartners a sugar rush. So too much stress right now, Peg Tooth. Well, my condolences again. So, nifty dancers, Peg Tooth. That leaves me out. Believe me, says Pawpaw Dan. Dutch whisk. Gotta Google that. Vanilla. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did have to. Yeah, you forgot the vanilla. You're right. Well, I did remember the vanilla at the last moment. So we will still have a cookie that tastes like a cookie. Dutch whisk is one or two wire loops attached to a wooden handle made specifically for those. They will work with this application too. Dr. M, hate to hear that about your radiator. Been there, done that too. At least you got home before dark. There is that, yes. Road trips for making memories you'll never forget, right? Oh boy, tell me about that. And that, yeah, thank goodness for AAA. 10 to 20 bucks Amazon. I bet you taste baking soda. No, you taste baking soda, if you taste baking soda, then use less. Yes, exactly. Terry Sinchef, I need 2 bags of M&Ms, one for the cookie and one for me. Yeah, exactly. I do have a second bag of those M&Ms sitting over there. I do kind of admit that. So, I know it's your cast iron Oh, I said that part already. Terry Sinchef. It's important to remember the chef in type of cooks always have extra of the stuff, so you have enough to make it to the table. Well, yeah, there is true, especially when you're doing things like cooking with alcohol. Never heard of it, Papa. Is it way some of the people around here say? If you're talking about the National Cornbread Festival, that takes place in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, the home of Lodge Cast Iron. In fact, it's largely sponsored by Cast Iron. The National Cornbread Festival is essentially a really big street festival. They're a small town, and the entire town dedicates itself to doing this festival, where, again, they bring in all of your expected carny stuff. There are lots of, lots of food vendors, other people selling their own kind of stuff. And this thing actually reaches an attendance of probably about 50,000 or so. People come from all around, and the roads are jammed, all just to get together in this town and really have a street festival with lots and lots of cornbread. There are a lot of vendors there making their own cornbread of all kinds, and there are even contests as well, sponsored by things like 4-H and the Girl Scouts and the like. This is one thing where there's something called the National Cornbread Cook-Off, where again they hold this contest, and so the final winners actually get a really decent prize. We're talking probably maybe $1,000 worth of kitchen supplies and other stuff like that. Let me see, and what else do we have here? Badger, check out now. Honey Badger, check out Harvey's Pirate Drive-In if he's open. What an experience that was. Anyway, yeah, Mitchell, he is making a huge cookie. It is just our size. Yes, exactly. This is, again, a number 14. Here's my hand to compare it. This is a number 14 size cast iron skillet that is about 15 inches across, in fact. So this is quite, yeah, I'm quite proud of this cookie. I will definitely say that. Actually, I need to turn it to about here. All right, and having said that, we're not the. I know the oven is still heating up, but I think we are about ready. We'll just keep this thing, and we'll just keep an eye on this thing as we get this into the oven. Because you know what they say: when it smells done, it's done. And besides, this is a cookie. If it's a little bit undercooked, well, that just means we have a chewy cookie. So in we go. There we go. Clang, clang, clang. All right, that takes care of that part. Yeah, 15-inch cookie. Yes, exactly. A cookie the size of a pizza. We are not kidding, Goat Kid Mom. And you have been on a roll with your morning joke lately, Mitchell. Okay, yeah. No, that's not just a skillet. That is Stumpy. Yes, indeed. Stumpy is one of my prized possessions. And if people know Stumpy from my channel, they'll know that he has cooked a lot of these cookies. He's cooked pizzas. He's cooked turkeys. And yeah, other cookies like this as well. So I'm always glad to bring out old Stumpy here. Hello from Wyoming. Cookie looks good. We'll try to replicate with keto ingredients. Yeah, I know, not the same. Hi, welcome from Wellington, New Zealand. Just want to congratulate you. Well, thank you so much, and Philip Marshall. So, well, again, very much appreciate the good words. Thank you. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, soft batch monster cookie. With any luck, yes. Having said that, it's time to get down to part 2 of this, because I did mention already that in addition to this cookie, well, we've got a little bit more to come here on 420. So that means we get to bring out another cast iron pan. This one is actually going to be an enameled cast iron pan. We've melted more butter on this one. Fortunately, this one has cooled off, which is what it's supposed to do. And now let's get down to the business of making ourselves some brownies for 420. I did say at the beginning that all of the ingredients in this brownie are legal. And yes, I do understand cannabis is legal here in Massachusetts. It is not legal in many other areas of the country or other countries. So we are not using cannabis in this recipe. If someone were to substitute their own ingredients and include things like that, well, that's that's your business, not mine. All right, but having done that, means now we get to bring out another bowl here. And I better change my recipe over here to there it is, cast iron brownies. All right, so here now we're going to start with the wet ingredients on this one. And so I think I can bring the camera back up so that folks will have a decent view. There we go, and that's why there's still room for me as well. Okay, that means on this one here, we start out with just exactly what we saw here. Where did I put that spatula? There it is. Very nice. Okay, that means we start out again with 1 cup of butter, melted and cooled, and fortunately, that's exactly what this is. So we're off to a decent start here. And this is the part where folks were to use magic butter. That, again, is not my business. And now I will stop making references to that because it's getting old, like me. Okay, from there we add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Yeah, there are a lot of wet ingredients in this. I can definitely say that, which is the result of this is going to be a very moist and chewy brownie, which of course is what everybody likes. Here's 1, and here's 2. And then from there, fortunately, I've already measured this ingredient now, because from here we are going to do 1 1/4 cups of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. So let's get all of this in there. And now we can start mixing it all together. Here it is. Okay, I get that out of the way. Time to whisk it up as best as we can. Let's see, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, now using a whisk, it looks like it's still not going to be the right thing to do. So this whisk is going to go away. And instead, we will go back to using this spatula here. Because all we really need to do at this point is just get these things incorporated together. Okay, and now from here, all right, we've got our brown sugar and white sugar. Okay, now we've got to add 4 eggs at room temperature. Well, this is one preparation I actually did remember. Brought out the eggs in advance. So there's 1, 2. Ran out of brown eggs. Now we're using white eggs. But on the inside, they're all the same. Yeah, and that's just a reference to eggs. No, I'm not trying to make some kind of other statement. 3 and 4. There we go. Let's get these things incorporated as quickly as we can. Fortunately, be careful. Fortunately, this butter is definitely cooled off, so there is no chance that the eggs are going to start pre-cooking. That is definitely not what we want. Okay, but it's a nice consistency right now. Much more wet than that cookie dough is or was. Okay, and be sure to do bottom to top. In fact, look how you can see that it's very light and fluffy, in fact, and that is the secret to these brownies. We want this to be very light and fluffy with air incorporated into it. So far, oh, I'm not sure if we saw that right, so let me do that again. There we go. So far, so good. And then from here, this time I am going to remember the vanilla extract. Not going to forget it and use it at the end this time. There we go. A little bit of that. Love using homemade vanilla extract. Not only is it about the finest vanilla extract you can get on the planet, but always have a plentiful supply too. Besides, like everything else, the cost has gone up ridiculously. Fortunately, because I make my own vanilla extract, I'm able to use it frequently in dishes like this. So far, so good. All right, now that we've done that, the dry ingredients are much simpler. Come on, why is this thing not going? The dry ingredients here will be, okay, I've mixed together already 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of cocoa powder, along with, I did always forget something. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry for the delay. trying to go as quickly as I can. Always forget something, and this is no exception. And that would be, oh, come on, bugger. All right. What I forgot, shut up. What I forgot to add to this is simply 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And as I found out, adding salt, even a minute amount of salt, is actually very important in recipes like this. It does not simply disappear. It does actually add to the taste and the consistency. So do not want to forget that. Oh, crap. Did I get liquid on this? All right. So let's get this in. There we go. Much better. And now that we've done that, here's the real secret to this brownie mix. Is that you saw the batter there, or the wet ingredients are all light and fluffy. Well, once we add in this mixture here, where's that? Okay, yeah, okay, let's cover this up so nothing gets into it. Once we add in this mixture here, we're going to want to do this we're just going to want to fold this in very gently so that it is just barely combined. And this is another reason why I'm doing this by hand and not using a mixer, because I want to do this gently. I'm only going to do this again. Oh, yeah, sure, spill it again. Only doing this little by little. And unfortunately, I just realized I forgot to grease that container once again. Oh, damn it. Boy, am I blowing this. Gotta watch myself here. All right. Grease. All we really want to do is lightly mix everything together. It'll take a moment or so, but you'll see that it will change its consistency from, from powder to actual brownie batter. There we go. Almost there. Let me mix the rest of this in one more time. Much better. And there we go. Now that is more like a brownie batter. And besides the fact that I goofed and spilled a little bit of this in the pan, of course, my bad. The other thing I forgot is that I need to grease this pan too. And with this one, I'm just going to use butter. That'll take care of this stuff too. That's just, again, that's just the brownie mix, so there's nothing bad about that. I spilled it into the pan, but I know that when this is done, nobody's going to notice. A little bit on the sides. As you can see, I'm just using this stick of butter like a crayon to cover as much of this pan as I can. There we go. Now, wash off my hands quickly. And again, we want to do this quickly before the batter loses its consistency. So I do not want to keep this sitting very long. Dry my hands off as fast as I can. All right, now at last, here we are. As I mentioned, we have our brownie batter. And with that didn't take long to do at all either, did it? Let's get this into the pan as quickly as we can. I was not intending to rhyme. That's just how it turned out. This is a 9x13 enameled cast iron casserole pan, for the record. Jamie loves making these brownies in a pan of this size. Of course, you could also do this in a skillet or even in a cast iron pot. And there you go, folks. That would make it pot brownies. Okay, now we'll just spread this out. This is not going to rise very much, notice. So in this one, we did not use baking soda or baking powder or the like. After all, these are brownies. It's not a cake. So we are going to have thin but thick brownies. I mean, thin in size, thick in consistency, which of course is the whole idea. But nonetheless, there we go. And that didn't take long either, did it? Oh yeah, and once again, I will definitely say that if assuming this turns out right, this is going to be much better than store-bought brownie mix. But sure, that sure wasn't hard to put together, was it? Okay, having done that, okay, there we are. We have brownie mix. So far, so good. Wait, 45 minutes in, and in this case, now, well, the oven has definitely become hot enough, so now let's just get these in on the top shelf. Ooh, that cookie is rising nicely, too. So, in we go. Hopefully within 15 minutes or so, the cookie will come out of the oven. And there we go. We are off to a decent start. Let's show off some cast iron here, shall we? Namely, these two number 5 sized cast iron skillets that I use to melt the butter in for each of these recipes. This one here is a handwritten Birmingham Stove and Range Red Mountain number 5. These BSR pans, they are real workhorses in the kitchen, as anybody lucky enough to own one knows that. And even though, just tried some of that brownie batter. But even if you have a Century Series BSR pan, they will still perform excellently in the kitchen. This one, on the other hand, is also a Red Mountain. Oh, yeah, drip, drip, drip. This is also a Red Mountain. This one is not as old as the handwritten one because it's not handwritten. Both of these are number 5 sized pans. And I've got to be careful not to end up with too many of these number 5 pans because they are extremely useful and versatile. They're even big enough that you can use these as serving plates or even dinner dishes. I believe, who is it? Jeff Rogers, the culinary fanatic. He regularly serves people out of these number 5 and just uses them as dishes, as dinner plates. All right, now let's see what we have here at this point. Thank you again for putting up with all of my rambling. And we've got to catch up with a few comments here, don't we? As Papa Dan says, hey, somewhere over. Dr. M, we'll have to see which works better, coconut flour, almond flour, or a mix. Oh, that sounds like you're making an interesting experiment. Please tell us how the results are. Terry Sinchef, you make a mean cookie batch too when it takes 2 number 10s to use it all. Oh, yeah, tell me about it. Terry Sinchef, I have a single notch and a 3-notch number 10 log skillet, and one batch of cookie fits into the 2 almost perfect. Yeah, the recipe for the cookie I have on my website, I actually have 2 separate lists of amounts of the ingredients, so that if you want to make this cookie in a number 8 10-inch to a number 12-inch number 10 12-inch pan. I can't talk during these things, can I? There's one. The other set of instructions is for what we did just now, namely making enough mix to fill a number 14 size pan. It's a small oval fruit that tastes like banana and pineapple. Very good. Well, that sounds interesting. So, Yes, brownies. Well, of course, Cynthia. I mean, today is 420. Of course, we have to make brownies. No question about that. Alright, the area of the two number 10s is close to the area of one number 14 skillet. Yeah, there's the mystery of science, definitely. It's like, it seems like with cast iron sizes, you pretty much double the volume every every two size numbers, namely that a number 10 skillet will take almost double the amount of volume you can put in a number 8 skillet. And again, that's really has more to do with geometry than anything else. For the record, a number 10 cast iron skillet also has roughly about the same amount of volume as that 9 by 13-inch pan that we made the brownies in. So that if you wanted to use this brownie mix in a cast iron skillet, I would advise a number 10 12-inch cast iron skillet to do it. And other than that, milk is 4.15 a gallon. Yeah, oh boy, that's not fun. Madagascar vanilla. Oh yeah, large bottle Madagascar vanilla, $54. Holy cow! Okay, let me show the what I'm using here. This is my vanilla extract. Actually, this is only a small part of my vanilla extract. I have a much larger bottle that I regularly shake every Saturday morning in order. Yes, 8 o'clock in order to produce my vanilla extract. And the nice thing is,
produce and shake.
yeah, exactly, produce and shake. And the nice thing is, the amount of vanilla beans I put into that particular container to produce this vanilla extract, I would say it definitely cost a lot less than $54. I'm sorry.
It smells so good already right now.
Oh yeah, we could definitely smell it. I'm hoping that the cookies should be done maybe within about 10 minutes or so. The brownies probably a little longer. They only went into the oven a couple of minutes ago. What?
Nothing.
That's all right.
I didn't want to swear. Sorry.
Oh, you were busy, so. Okay, how are people going to survive when on food stamps? Well, that's another subject completely, actually. And there, quite frankly, there's no shame in using food stamps. Definitely not. Mm-hmm. We use them. Hello, Debbie. Well, you're not late. After all, the live is still going on, so we are still having fun here playing with our cast iron. I'm always glad to see you. Okay. I followed your example and made a fifth of extract. 10 out of 10. Would recommend everybody do that. Yes, making your own vanilla extract is so easy. I mean, I say that a lot, but I really mean it because with the vanilla extract, you need two ingredients: vanilla beans and vodka. And it doesn't even have to be vodka. I've actually, for the last few years, I've been using spiced rum.
I think rum would be better.
Yeah, for my vanilla extract. Yes, there is an investment initially in getting those vanilla beans. There's no denying that. Vanilla beans are expensive. For the record, probably both the best and cheapest or least expensive supplier of vanilla beans on the internet would probably be Beanilla. And if you know anything at all about vanilla beans, you probably know about that site. That's instead of vanilla, it's Beanilla, Beanilla.com. They supply vanilla beans. Pretty much every kind of vanilla bean you can think of. And the initial investment to get a decent stack of vanilla beans from this place would probably be, oh, I don't know, maybe about anywhere from, when I did it a few years ago, it was probably $25 to $30. I'm sure prices have gone up, and it might be maybe $30 to $40. However,
how much we've used?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow, well over $30 since I've lived here.
Oh yeah. We have definitely used well over $30 worth of vanilla extract because
it's high grade.
It is high grade too. It's pure and it is really, really good quality stuff. The point being is that
the taste doesn't compare to that imitation stuff.
Yeah.
It does not even compare.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother class.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
But But the point of is that just that. I mean, there is an investment initially to make your own vanilla extract. However, the cost savings are enormous. I mean, didn't somebody say right now it costs like over $50 for a decent sized bottle of Madagascar vanilla extract? Well, again, the investment in those vanilla beans is less than that, at which and the result is much greater quantity as well. I mean, I'm actually using like a 20-ounce bottle to make my vanilla extract, and we're not talking like 2, 3, or even 8 ounces. We're talking 20 ounces of vanilla extract. What you do is just literally put the slice open the vanilla beans, put it all into the bottle, fill the bottle completely all the way up to the top with your alcohol, whether it's vodka or spiced rum. Shake it on a regular basis, and here's the thing though, you've got to let it ferment, probably for about 3 to 6 months before you can start using it. But once you do so, you have effectively an unlimited supply of vanilla extract, because what you do is you don't just use it out of that bottle. You get yourself a small container like this. You fill this with the vanilla extract that you're going to use. And then you refill that. And then from there, you refill your master bottle with more alcohol, so that by the time we're done using this, the master bottle will have already fermented, and you will effectively have still more vanilla extract, and you can keep going and going and going. I've been doing this anywhere for now, I would guess 6 or 7 years. So that initial $30 to $40 investment has lasted 6 to 7 years of fairly constant baking with pure vanilla extract. So it is.
I mean, from the time I've lived here to now, I would say it definitely hasn't changed the flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've been here for 2 going on 3 years, so.
Going on 4 years.
Yes, exactly. And in all this time, we're still using the same batch of vanilla extract. We just keep refilling it when needed, and we have never had to buy more vanilla extract. So that is really, especially these days, if you bake on a regular basis, there's the thing. I mean, not everybody bakes, but if you do bake on a regular basis, I can't recommend this highly enough. So, Terry Sinchaf, I have 2 quarts of vanilla extract almost ready. I put the vanilla beans in the vodka in February of 2021. I would say they are ready to go, and you're pretty much a lifetime of vanilla extract now. Rum extract goes good with chocolate brownies and chocolate icing. Yes, indeed. Val's Black Cat's rule is I gently blend, then rest the batter so it soaks up the moisture. Oh, can I lick the spoon? I think we're already past that, unfortunately, because I'm sure somebody else has already licked the spoon. I wonder if there's a crayon with the color as butter. I wouldn't be surprised. Old-fashioned coffee pot. Hello, everyone. Just tuned in. Am I cooking with cannabis today? Well, as I said, cooking with cannabis technically is illegal in many parts of the country and some other countries. It is not illegal here in Massachusetts, true, but it is not legal everywhere. So
Yeah,
I have.
We like to eat the stuff we cook, so.
Yes, so yeah, plus we like to eat the stuff we cook. So unfortunately, we are not using actual cannabis in this recipe. Whether or not other people use cannabis in their recipe, that I have no knowledge whatsoever about. I don't know nothing. So, however, we are getting to the point where I can smell a cookie. I can definitely smell something. Excuse me 1 second. We are close. This thing is definitely puffed up. I don't think we are quite there yet. I hope actually this is not. I just realized. I hope I didn't put this on. I put this on the bottom rack of the stove. I better be careful there. All right. So because of that, I think it's probably too late to switch it to a higher rack at this point. I'm going to take it out of the oven within 5 minutes. I think we'll say that.
Yeah, Yeah, remember we want to do it less. You know?
Oh yeah, we do want it less. You're right. Good point. All right, Miss Mobley really seemed interested in that ham far more than the Boston baked beans. Yes, she did. She actually ate a little bit of that, which was nice. Shadow Walker XM, hi, glad you make it. Yes, she Pam works well. It would be good to sprinkle chocolate chips on the bottom of the pan and dump batter over it. Yeah, there's certainly there's something to consider. I won't deny that. So. And I just realized I made one crucial mistake with these brownies. I forgot to mix in those melted chocolate chips. Oh well.
Oh, I never melted them either.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Well, there's definitely enough cocoa in this, though. I mean, you can't deny that. So, I made a cake and icing and was enjoying it with a scoop of ice cream. I've scaled this recipe for number 14 before. Now that's a brownie. Oh yeah. I use parchment, great for lifting out of the pan and for cutting. Yeah, there's an idea for you. I didn't even. I'm not gonna say that next one from William Hurt. Can you imagine a brownie lamb? That's something I may consider doing with that lamb mold, definitely. So. It's nice to be here. It is the highlight of my week. Well, thank you very, very much. So, all I can say is we're just here to have fun.
It's the highlight of our week too, actually.
Yes. All right. Grivolis 2. Use a dark bottle for vanilla or keep it out of the light. That's exactly what I do. I keep mine in the top shelf of my cabinet. I do not expose it to the light on a regular basis. Granny Graham, I was eating and missed your comment. I agree with William Hurt that was a great deal. I never found any Griswold for $10. You found a Griswold for $10. Definitely, congratulations. That's all I can say there. So, Cynthia Wesley, I asked why everybody keeps talking about cannabis. Yes, yes, exactly. So, but again, that's a subject that is technically illegal, and as you know, this is for entertainment purposes only. Maybe sprinkle the chips over the brownies at the end. You know, we could do that. While it comes out of the oven and it's still piping hot, what if we just simply sprinkle those chocolate chips over the top? Any objection to that?
No, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I like that plan. Yeah. Yeah, because here they are. And in fact, these here are the chocolate chips, which have been out of the fridge for a while, so they are not chilled. So they should actually melt rather nicely. Thank you very much for that suggestion. I like it a lot, actually. All right. Having said that, okay, it's about time to take out the cookie, which means I'm going to move this around a little bit. Clean these things out. And now that we've done that, it's time once again for Stumpy to show off his stuff. Okay, clear this out and bring up, here's one, and here's another. There we go. Okay, let's do this as quickly as we can. I need my gloves because it's a hot pan there in the oven, and I've already burned myself enough times. Thank you. Nonetheless, away we go. Oh yeah, I do believe we are just in time. Ugh, holy cow. Ugh. This is heavy, yes. However, there we are. Check this out, folks. And there's definitely some browning here. Oops. Yeah, this thing rose all right. No question about that. It may or may not be done. I mean, the edges definitely look done.
No, we want to leave it less done because you want chewy.
Okay.
I mean, every time we've done it, it's like it ends up being a little too crispy. You know what I mean?
Point taken.
Yeah.
Then in that case, there we go.
Yeah, that's ready.
Okay.
That's good.
Still okay. And that means, well, that means part one of this is all set then. Although this thing is piping hot, we are going to have to let this thing cool for, I don't know, what would you say, an hour at least?
Yeah.
definitely. So, is that dimpled pen foreshadowing of things to come, or to be used as a trivet? Oh, I guess you're talking about over here, the Turk's head pan, I believe. So, yeah, we're not doing anything with that tonight. I do have to be honest there, but nonetheless, right. I was asking because I'm in Canada, and here they have pot shops on pretty much every street corner. Yeah, it's like that here in Massachusetts now. We in my town, you pretty much there are 6 cannabis dispensaries within walking distance, and within 5 minutes driving distance, I can probably count anywhere from another 6 or more. So, yes, I'm very familiar with that. And the thing is, I'm really not into that stuff. We've got all of these cannabis dispensaries in here, around here. I have been in a cannabis dispensary here in Massachusetts only once, and that was when my friends from New York, I will not mention their names, came to visit last year.
We have one on our block.
Yes, we do. Actually, you're right. We have one on our block. Literally, I can walk out the door and go 1 block, and there is a big cannabis dispensary on our street.
Yeah, 3 minutes walk.
Yeah, and we've never gone into it. However, when my friends visited from New York, they wanted to go in and see what it was like. So I went with them. And the place had security like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you had to go in, check in with the receptionist, show your ID, and then from there he would open a security door so that you could go in and actually see the merchandise. And they had the merchandise there on tables, almost like you might see in a museum. In which case you had everything that you might expect, all kinds of edibles, other ingredients for mixing, for mixing all kinds of concoctions. Some of which you could literally, they were just like candy bars, for instance, and that's what my friends actually bought. They bought several of those so that they could try them out. I never did ask for their opinion of that.
What is that?
I'm sorry?
You hear that alarm?
Yeah, there's an alarm. There's a smoke alarm going on somewhere. It's not ours this time.
I don't know. That sounds weird. That sounds like a
Maybe a car alarm?
no. That sounds like a factory, like something's going wrong in a factory alarm.
Huh.
Weird.
All right. Do you cut the cookie into pieces to remove, or do you just break it into 1,000 pieces? Actually, if it's solid, I mean, if it's good enough, I will be able to slice it the way you would slice a cake or a pizza. And I have done that before as well. I've made these cookies quite a few times, and yeah, that's pretty much what you do. You actually use, like, say, a spatula or a knife, and you actually cut slices and lift it out, just like you would lift slices of a pie or a cake. Okay, me neither. That's why I didn't know what it meant. My cookies slide right out whole. Oh yeah, that is what I intend for this to do too. Once it's completely cooled off. Yes. So.
So it's okay.
Thank you for clarifying the name of the Turk head pan. I'd forgotten. Yeah, I apologize, folks. I mean, I know I put this thing out in view, but I'm afraid, as I said, my plans for tonight were to make a cookie and to make some brownies. Yeah, I could have made brownies in that Turk's head pan now that I'm thinking of it, but I didn't think of it, so I apologize.
Cookies would have been good.
Yeah, that's true. We'll use it we'll make another batch of cookies in the Turk's head pan. Yes. So, but anyway, that was the only time I've been in a cannabis dispensary, and I did not even bother trying any of the edibles myself. But that's that's just
Oh my
me.
God.
I'm
You could never.
Yeah.
To step into that, no.
Yeah.
You can't start that way.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not. No, I'm not gonna start with. Well, yeah. Let's try it this way. Consider this. What we One thing I will say about these cannabis dispensaries too is that they are all, and I mean all of them, are franchises. They are part of chains. They are not independent. It's like they moved. They Yeah. They moved right in when pot became legal. But as Jamie just said, yeah, it costs a lot of money to start up one of those things. So and insurance, and I'm sure the state license, quote unquote, is probably ridiculously expensive. Yeah, licenses, permits, and so forth. So, yeah, it's unfortunately, while it is possible to do a mom and pop convenience store on the corner, it is not possible to do a mom and pop cannabis dispensary.
They figured out that out in California when they first switched over.
Yeah.
People, when they switched over to growing, a lot of these mom and pop growers got put out of business.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why they legalize it, especially to put the independents out of business. Unfortunately, that's really the case.
Yeah.
But I guess my point being is that what you get at a cannabis dispensary is not homemade stuff. And here is the difference between homemade and store bought. So if I were to bother buying edibles at one of those cannabis dispensaries, it would be like buying store bought stuff, like buying stuff, well, if not from Walmart, but maybe something a little higher than that. But still, it certainly would not compare to making it from scratch and homemade. So, I mean,
no, it's probably a little more potent actually that way.
It might be a little more potent. What, the store bought one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's possible the store bought one may be a little more potent.
Well, the reason they do it is it has to be regulated.
Right.
There's no way mom and pop, you can't regulate how much THC is in it.
Yeah, that's true. With a mom and pop, you can't regulate it.
That's like
Yeah.
virtually impossible to know.
Yeah.
It's just the person, you know what I mean?
Yes. However, that again kind of comes back down to this cookie, which I'm also very proud of. And this thing is actually starting to solidify a little bit, which is good. I mean, I saw a little bit of it collapse immediately when I touched it, but I shouldn't have touched it. That's all. Now it's becoming a little bit of chocolate. Now it's becoming more solid, and we are getting ourselves a real cast iron cookie. But what can I say? Look at this thing. I mean, again, this is 15 inches across. This is the size of a pizza, mind you. It's probably about maybe almost an inch thick or so, and it is full of things like M&Ms and chocolate chips and Reese's Kisses and some peanut butter eggs. Now compare this.
Semi-sweet and some milk chocolate.
Yeah, semi-sweet and milk chocolate. Now compare this to the so-called giant cookie that you can buy at Wally World for like about $15, which is smaller than this. I mean, it's probably like maybe 8 to 10 inches, like a number 8 size cast iron pan, and it's much thinner. And what's more, it's a store bought and factory produced cookie. So yeah, all you can taste is the baking soda, as Jamie says. I mean, really, ever since I started making these giant cookies, there is absolutely no reason to ever get a store-bought cookie. When this certainly did not cost $9 to $10 to make. I mean, the ingredients were, again, a couple of eggs, flour, sugar, and of course, the most expensive thing would be the chocolate chips and the candy, which was leftover Easter candy as well. So technically, there wasn't even any cost for that. So, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I'm never going to get a store-bought cookie because I can make one better than store-bought, less expensive than store-bought, which is also kind of what I was pointing out when I mentioned about buying edibles at a cannabis dispensary versus homemade edibles. Do you think those factory produced edibles that you buy at a cannabis dispensary could compare, except maybe with the THC, like you said, to the homemade stuff? Oh yeah. Well, that of course is a debate that can just go on and on and on. No question about that.
The factories are actually really tiny. It's not like factories like Walmart factories though.
Yeah.
The dispensary places,
Yes.
you are talking about like smaller. There is more way hands-on. They're smaller.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's like
not big conglomerates.
No, that's true. It's like the dispensaries, the stuff they get are not exactly made at places like Hershey's or Nestle. At least not yet. I'm actually would not be surprised if Big Tobacco probably has already bought out some.
Planet 420 is actually one of the biggest dispensaries.
What?
Planet 420, and they have like
Planet 420 is one of the biggest dispensaries. Well, actually, I wouldn't know that. So, and I have not yet seen one of those here. Okay, is the anyway? Meanwhile, here, that's why I didn't know what it meant. Yeah. Okay. Corey Clark, big ice cream sandwich party. Oh yeah, I mean, if I were to cut into this right now, this thing is still piping hot, and if I were to put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on this, it would melt all over it. Oh, melted ice cream on a big cookie. Oh man, I'm drooling. And yeah, Papa Dan, this well, it's a wooden cutting board, yes, but I put a couple of trivets underneath so that there would be no chance that the iron would scorch it or anything like that. So, hippie longshanks. My state, at least you know, one edible serving is 10 milligrams each, unlike home edibles, which are a guessing game. Well, there is that. You can't deny that. In which case, you've got to go to a source you can trust. But that, of course, is another story. All right. Jose Lachias, what did I miss? Sounds very interesting already. Well, we have made ourselves a giant, they call it a garbage cookie because we threw in our, uh, actually, it had been named like that already.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Anyway, with the leftover Easter candy. Also in the oven, we have brownies baking. And I better check those. We may be getting close to that time at this point. It's already 9:15. How come the time goes by so fast on these lives? And, we may very well be done with the brownies as well. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, carefully. And let's check on this, shall we? Okay. I do believe I'm smelling like this. Oh, I think this is done. I need another. There we are. Oh, yeah, this looks done. No question about it. And like cookies, it's not like an undercooked brownie is going to be anything bad. However, while it's still piping hot, exactly like you said, let's sprinkle on these chocolate chips, shall we? As quickly as we can. Oh yeah, boy. These these chocolate chips really have ruined this brownie, haven't they? Boy, doesn't that look awful. What? Yes, indeed. Oh man, just look at this. I'm sorry, I've ruined it. Boo hoo hoo. Oh yeah. But there we go. No, these are not cannabis brownies. Cannabis is illegal in some areas of the country and other countries.
It is illegal federally.
Yes, legal federally.
Illegal federally.
Yes, it's illegal federally. That's why we're not cooking cannabis here on YouTube. But nonetheless, we've got brownies for 420. Oh man, do these ever look good. Thank you very much for the suggestion to put those chocolate chips on the top. I did forget, but hey, this is not. I don't think anybody's going to complain about this. All right. And having said that, I'm not thinking tonight. Eating between comments and wishing I had that cookie for dessert and a brownie. Okay, nothing like a body high. Oh yeah, nailed those brownies, says Hippie Longshanks. I'd have to say so as well. Yeah, I can't wait. No, you haven't ruined it, and now it looks like frosting. Yeah, so no, believe me, I'm not worried at all about this. In fact, the heat is definitely going to at least partially melt these chocolate chips. Peg tooth. It's funny that we don't see more hemp clothing or building products when people were pushing for legalizing hemp. Yes, there indeed. Now I see people littering with weed packaging. Yes, isn't it funny about that? It's like they're all talking about hemp medicine and hemp clothing and hemp this and hemp that.
Hemp rope.
Yeah, hemp rope and all that. But once they legalized pot, what do we see? Dispensaries and edibles. It's almost as if that was really the intention.
Well,
Gee,
because you have to take up the same amount of space to grow hemp as you do to grow THC.
yes, there is
So
that.
why the cost is grossly
Yeah.
different. You know what I mean between
Pop, Papa Dan, I would hate to see Jamie and you eat ruined brownies. So since you are a friend, just send it to me and I will take care of it for you. Well, I very much appreciate your offer, Papa Dan. Val's Black Cat's rules. As much as I love nuts, I have too many friends and family who are allergic. Yes, we did completely forget to put nuts in this, but that was actually intentional in this case.
no nuts.
Yeah, Corey Clark, I have a hemp shirt. And Chris S. Agree, walnuts would be good, and the nut fat oils would help cannabis absorption. Oh well, yeah. If you're going to do that to make some magic brownies, probably adding nuts would not be a bad idea for precisely that reason. And I do believe, yeah, oh yeah. In fact, I could see some of these chocolate chips are indeed beginning to melt. So that's good. That means they're all going to be merged in with the brownies. So I would definitely call this a success, even though I forgot to mix them in the beginning. Your suggestion, I believe, has really helped to improve these brownies. But wow, I can't. We're already at that point, an hour 20 minutes into this. I was. It seems like almost every week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to last that long with the covering this topic, and yet it seems to run to this point without any difficulty at all. So, but nonetheless, there we go. We've got our brownies for 420, and just as important, we have our garbage cookie. Definitely. Stumpy does it again. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad. You remember last year, I actually succumbed to temptation and got a Red Mountain series number 14 cast iron skillet, and finally decided I did not want to get rid of Stumpy.
I couldn't believe you said you were gonna.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not regretting it at all one bit. The reason why, some folks may already know, the reason why I call this guy Stumpy. Oh, good, he's getting cooler. So it's still hot, but I'm not burning myself. Anyway, the reason why I call this guy Stumpy is for two reasons. Number one, when you compare this huge pan to the little stumpy handle at the end here. But the other reason is because Stumpy actually has a factory flaw. If you look, and I can move him over like this, and let me see if I can actually bring this down even more. It means I gotta loosen this thing. Excuse me one second. How come it's always something? Yeah. Oh well. Never mind. I'm not gonna waste time on it. Let's just do it this way. All right. The end, as you can see, he's got. You see this little ending here? The way this seems to be misshapen. Now, cast iron. If you were to drop a cast iron pan, almost certainly it would not look like this. It would end up probably cracking or even breaking off the handle. So I think this is actually a factory flaw, a minor flaw in manufacturing, and I think Stumpy probably came out of the mold like this. However, it's precisely because of this and the short handle, see, it doesn't even reach to the end of my finger, that I call this guy Stumpy. But believe me, I'm using that as a compliment because Stumpy here has done a lot of really good cooking in this kitchen, and I intend to keep on using old Stumpy for the rest of my life. We've got more cookies coming up. We've got, of course, holidays when he will be cooking still more turkeys. Heck, I could even bring him on a camping trip because, he would make a really good griddle for outdoor cooking because, we've got the high sides and everything, prevents spillage. Anyway, keep Stumpy and put it on your wall. Well, in our new apartment, maybe we'll be able to do that. So, we cast iron junkies can't get enough. Papa Dan, after watching your baking tonight and smelling both the cookie and brownies, I'm being forced to go and raid the kitchen for dessert after your show, of course. Yeah. Well, we are about to wrap it up at this point because, as I said, we are at, we're going on an hour and 25 minutes. So Thank you for the close up. Well, yeah, it's definitely worth it because I'm quite happy with how this turned out. This is definitely becoming much more solid now. So, as you can see, I can poke around at this without any difficulty at all. This is the part where, oh, this is still quite hot. But if I wanted to serve this now, and melt some ice cream on top of it, oh man, would this make a great dessert. As it is, we're going to let it cool off, but we will be serving it because we have let our some of our friends know that we've got a big cookie and brownies to share tonight. And that's good because that means that way we won't eat it all. Unfortunately, we're at the age where we really shouldn't eat all of this. Um,
We should. Just kidding.
oh yeah, exactly. Nonetheless, there we go, I guess. And that, I guess, covers our cast iron cooking once again here on Cast Iron Wednesday, where we got to use a number 14 BSNR, a couple of number 5 BSNRs, and an enameled cast iron casserole pan. So I'm actually quite happy. I have enjoyed myself this evening, and I really hope you folks, as always, I really hope you do. That's the most important thing. I mean, not just because I love people to keep coming back, but really that's the whole point. As I say again and again, the whole point here is to have fun. And you folks showing up here is really what makes these live videos fun. The cooking is fun, but the interaction is really what makes this special.
It's nice. I feel like we get to know you.
Yeah, and
get to
it's
know you guys.
yeah, and it is nice for us to get to know you. As she says, she didn't really know. I mean, now we know you guys, and we look forward to seeing you here each week. So,
It becomes more personal. You're not just, it's like you're not just.
oh, definitely,
Usernames,
yes, exactly. You're not just usernames; you're our friends, and thank you very much for coming into our kitchen week after week. And having said that, for Val's Black Cats Rule and Pawpaw Dan and Cynthia Wesley, Granny Graham, Pegtooth, William Hurt, Terry Sinchef, Corey Clark, Daisy Bravo, Jose Latia, so many more. Yes, my kind of garbage too. We are about ready to head out, so I can only thank everybody so much because of course we're going to do this all over again next week, and we'll keep on going because, well, what can I say, because it's fun. And having said that, and hello Clico tonight as well too, so, and yes, exactly, see you all next Wednesday. Have a good evening, folks. Yeah. And auf Wiedersehen. I thank you very much, folks. Happy 420 Pipgorn, and see you next Wednesday.